relaxed atmosphere tonight at LA 36. And welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm Randy Rosenbloom. Tarek Fattal of the Daily News is back. He went to a wedding. I think it was back east. He'll probably fill us in on that. We have a lot of different topics to discuss in prep sports this evening. We're also going to hear from Ryan Staub, the quarterback at West Ranch. Believe it or not that West Ranch is 4-0. That's believable. He's thrown 17 touchdowns with no interceptions. And we're going to preview tomorrow night's El Camino Real Narbonne game, which will be on LA 36. We have the Narbonne head coach. He's a good guy and one of his star players as well. That's Malcolm Manuel is the head coach, just 29 years of age, and a star running back, Nick Leonard. Our star, who's running it back, is Tarek Fattal. Great to see you.
Hey, Randy. It's fun. It's good to be back.
What about the wedding?
Yeah,
I want to know about the wedding.
Good. Some college roommates, back in the Northeast. Springfield College is where I went to school. So one of the guys got hitched, so went and watched him and gave him my support.
That's great. I'm glad to have you back. All right, we got to talk about the fact that the SoFi Stadium issue, Mater Dei, St. John Bosco. Bosco wanted to play it there. Mater Dei thought about it, then declined it.
I just think what a squandered opportunity. If I'm a Mater Dei senior, I get it. The Santa Ana Bowl's cool. The game's great. That doesn't take away from it. But, man, an opportunity to add to it by playing at SoFi Stadium, and it's just kind of like, nah, we'd rather play at the Santa Ana Bowl. I don't know. It's wrong to me, and I think if I'm a senior, I'm kind of bummed about that because that's could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But I think they will play that game in SoFi down the line probably next year.
And, of course, the section championships are at the Rose Bowl, so if they meet, that's pretty cool as well. Okay, for the finals, it would be St. John Bosco, Mater Dei. Everybody seems to think it's going to go that way, and that would be at the Rose Bowl. All right, flag football. We're hearing a lot about it. All the different sections are talking about it. I know Vicky Lagos, the commissioner of the LA City section, is outspoken about it. They want it, and they want it pretty soon.
I think there's an opportunity for a really great I would love to cover girls flag football. I think it'd be a great followed event. I actually think there'd be a really fun aspect to it. I think there's so many great girl athletes in our area. And, another thing that I would be curious to know is how competitive could it be? We see so many transfers in different sports like basketball and baseball and football. Could it get so competitive where we see girls transferring for girls flag football? I mean, why not? So could be an interesting follow.
Yeah, they could have NIL deals too. All right, let's talk about some of the football games from last week. I know in your neck of the woods, surprising me, Saugus 16, Simi Valley 14. That was kind of surprising.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shocker. Simi Valley's a team that's known to just score a lot of points. So Saugus out in the Foothill League, that's Jason Bourne, the coach, been there forever, and they're always tough. So they hold Simi Valley to 14 points and score 16. That gets them the win. And Sarah Gardena with a really nice win over Warren.
Yeah, Warren of Downey. How about Roosevelt in the city section? Still undefeated, doing great things, doubling the numbers on Dorsey. Marshall, what a performance. They had lost 10 straight games. That's their rivalry game. They win 40-28 over Belmont. And how about Nick Chilcote? 21 of 25, 367 yards, 6 touchdowns for the Barristers. If you're going to snap a losing streak, Why not do it against your rival and have your quarterback go absolutely crazy?
Yeah, that's certainly a athlete of the week type performance. So good for Marshall to get the monkey off their back.
All right, we're going to bring in Ryan Staub, a quarterback from West Ranch who's committed to Colorado. Your take on this guy? You know him pretty well.
Well, Ryan's story's been really interesting, and I think a lot of people that do or don't know, he transferred from Sierra Canyon. Now he's at West Ranch, and that's a program that's been on the rise. I've been around long enough to kind of see them start plucking away in the Foothill League, and this is a program that could potentially win their first Foothill League title in program history, and Ryan Staub has a lot to do with that.
All right, let's talk to him right now. Ryan, welcome. My first comment to you is every time I see you, you're smiling. Are you that happy in life? Is life that good for Ryan Staub?
I'm just happy to be here. It's a cool opportunity to be talking to you guys. So.
All right, let's talk about this start for your football team. 4-0, 17 touchdowns, 0 picks. Why have you had so much success in the 2022 season?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just experience. I had a whole year in my junior year under my belt. And so just next year in the offense, I have great receivers. They make great plays, and a great line and a great offensive scheme that we run at West Ranch. So,
Ryan, that opening game, I don't think people were expecting you guys to knock off St. Francis. And not only did you do it, you scored 61 points on them. And, man, what an outstanding way to start the season. And then you've kind of kept it rolling. Can you talk about having success and then not being happy with that, continuing to build on that? Talk about that a little bit.
absolutely. I mean, it was a great win for us, a great program win. Taking down a big private school for West Ranch is a big win. But I think the big thing is to realize for the whole team that we haven't really accomplished anything. Nothing's really been accomplished until we take down the Foothill League, and that's the main goal, and that's the goal every year. So,
I think Tarek buried the lead in the St. Francis game. I think Mr. Staub threw for like 6 touchdowns and ran for another one. So, Ryan Staub, let's talk about your individual performance in that game. And don't be, it's the rest of the guys. How good were you against St. Francis?
yeah, I mean it was a fun game for sure. Everything seemed to be working. The offense was really firing on every cylinder. We seemed to not even really run the ball. We had 5 one play scoring touchdown drives. So that just shows you we were never on the field. I think I attempted 25 passes maybe, or 21, 25. And so putting up 61 points with only that few attempts is pretty impressive. So the offense was just on the money that game. Tarek, I can't hear you. I think it's Tarek. Sorry, yeah. I think it's cutting out. Oh.
You put them.
You make a good question. I'm trying to think of, a team like Simi Valley. That's kind of where I see West Ranch.
Right.
Like Simi Valley last year. They went unbeaten last year and then got thrown into Division II. Well, I don't know if West Ranch will go unscathed, but if they do, they could be a Division II playoff team, and that would be quite the haul. So I see West Ranch more their ballpark division would be Division III or Division IV.
Okay, guys, I think we should try to bring up the Narbonne individuals, unless we can't. Is Ryan back? Do you know? Ryan,
I
can you hear me?
Here you go.
Oh my goodness, we don't have to bring you back on another show now. This is really good. Ryan's back. Okay, when we last heard from you, Tarek was throwing you a question saying, what do you think of your team's defense? What's making them have success this year?
Yeah, I think it's our second year under our defensive coordinator, Coach Lujan. And again, I think we returned probably probably 9 or 10 of our defensive starters from last year. So the defense has really come together, and they've had huge performances. I think they have 3 pick sixes and have only given up 7 points since the St. Francis game. So it definitely keeps us in games and gonna take us a long way. So yeah.
Ryan, talk to me a little about, the transfer from Sierra Canyon. Okay, you transfer from Sierra Canyon. You kind of get, I don't know if you want to call it a second chance, if you want to call it a new start, a new team, but certainly things have gone well since you transferred from Sierra Canyon. You're at West Ranch. You're going to Colorado. I don't even think it's a bad thing to say, hey, you moved schools and now things are going great for you. How can you, talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I learned a lot of great things at my time at Sierra Canyon. I know going back to my hometown West Ranch was just the best move for me. And I really think I was able to blossom under that system at West Ranch. And I think it just really goes to show that at the end of the day, anyone can get recruited going to a public school. I don't think it matters if you go to a top-notch school like Sierra Canyon, respect to their awesome program. But I just think it shows that you can get recruited from any public school, any private school, anywhere you go.
Ryan, why Colorado? I know you liked Boulder when you visited there. We're running out of time on this segment, so I want to find out why a young man from the Valencia, California area matriculates to Boulder, Colorado for his collegiate days.
Well, I mean, it's hard to deny any school in the Pac-12, but not only just that, I think I fell in love with Boulder itself. If you haven't been, it's beautiful. It's an amazing campus, amazing school. It's local for the most part, and I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing was just the coaching staff. I just see great things coming up ahead for Carl Durrell and the whole staff, and offensive coordinator Mike Sanford has just been a really cool sort of mentor and coach for me to have built a relationship with these last couple months.
Well, we appreciate your time. We appreciate the fact that you stuck with us there. We had a little technical glitch, but you're a bright young guy. Continued success. Best of luck tomorrow night against Canyon, and we look forward to seeing you soon and hopefully a deep playoff run for your West Ranch football team.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Randy and Tarek.
All right. Thank you. He's having a great year. There's no question about it.
Yeah, every time I always text his coach, Chris Varner, like, hey, how many touchdowns did Ryan throw on Friday night? And he'll throw a lot more this season.
What's the over and under on this game? West Covina 27, Valencia of Placentia 20. It was 2020 the last time I checked it. We got this live look in here. This is obviously a really good Thursday night game.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with these two teams, but hey, when there's a one-score game with a couple minutes to go, that can make things real fun. So we could be in for a tight finish here.
This is a dramatic game.
Yeah, and once again, I'll repeat myself. It could be in for a tight finish here.
We won't see it though here. We'll just, we just dip in and out on some of these games.
Yeah, what a teaser.
What we will see is Narbonne tomorrow night hosting El Camino Real. ECR just picked up a victory last week against San Fernando, buried the Tigers, a big score. Narbonne has really gotten off to a terrific start. They're 3-1. They're playing well. They think they can compete with all the different teams in the city section. They know that they'll have a measuring stick game in a few weeks when they play San Pedro in their Marine League, so that'll be interesting. So let's bring in the guys from Narbonne High School. There they are. We got Malcolm, who's the head coach, Malcolm Manuel. He looks as young as anyone out there today. He's 29 years of age, and he's leading the program. And Nick Leonard in the cap, an outstanding running back. Malcolm, welcome to the program, and congratulations on a terrific 3-1 start.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Won a division title. I know you think they're physical. Can you match their physicality?
I think so. I think we have similar size up front, if not bigger. So the way we've been playing the last few weeks, especially with our run game, inside in between the tackles, I think we can match it perfectly fine.
Speaking of your run game, you got Nick Leonard here. Tell us why you think Nick Leonard is such a special football player. I know you're really high on your running back.
Yeah, well, I think with him, it starts at just being a really good leader. Guys follow him, and he's able to make people gravitate towards him with the way that he just does things in general. His goes beyond the football field. He's a great student, a model student in my opinion. So I think that's what makes him a special football player, the way that he's able to just do everything else that we ask him to do, and be able to do it right. And it helps when you can run for 213 yards in a game. So just being able to do the small things makes him who he is right now on the football field for me.
Nick, for those at home that don't know, describe your game. What kind of player are you?
I'm more of a explosive type of player. I'll not. This is a good question.
Are you more like a cut and go, or kind of make you miss in a phone booth kind of guy? What's your skill set?
Definitely cut and go, or I'm gonna just run straight through you. One of those two.
I like that.
Nick, the coach said you're a great leader. Why do you think you're such a good leader? Kids on your team, why are your fellow teammates attracted to be playing with you at Narbonne?
I think I'm such a good leader because I know different scenarios and how different things could go down. So they instantly come to me and ask me, oh, what could happen in this scenario if they come out in this? And I instantly tell them what could happen. It's different things, and then it's off the field stuff too, like telling people different stuff, like getting to class and stuff.
Coach, you are a young person, and you have an ability to maybe relate to these players better than some other coaches. Do you feel like that's an asset of yours? You kind of know, maybe a little bit more what they're thinking. You're probably more in touch with what they're listening to, maybe stuff that they're watching that other coaches might not be in tune with. How does that help you?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's one of those things that I use to my advantage. I try to always be in tune with what's going on now. Sometimes I feel a little bit older because the styles and everything it changes so much. But having younger cousins that are around the same age as these guys, and nieces and nephews that are in a similar culture, it keeps me up to date to what I need to do. And I think that the way that I approach them a little bit more, and them seeing me still be younger on the younger side, it helps our relationship a lot, because a lot of them just feel like they can just kind of talk to me and approach me more. And that's just been the great thing about it. They understand that, even though I am young, I am the coach, and they can talk to me about things that probably, like you said, older coaches or older people in general wouldn't understand.
Malcolm, when you think of Narbonne, you think of dominance in the city section. They had a run there where they won 8, 9 championships. They had one of them taken away, and then they had some violations in the program, and the school cleaned house, and you had to start from scratch. You lose your first 10 football games as the head coach. Now you're seemingly turning it around. You got a winning squad. How difficult was it to overcome the fact that there was a complete house cleaning, and at the beginning your team really struggled?
Well, it was very difficult because it was more so outside noise. We had guys that were there that were younger, and guys who were there who some of them haven't even played football before, but they knew what Narbonne was. And I think a lot of people didn't understand just how good our area is and how good our league is. Carson, Banning, San Pedro, even Gardena plays well some years. So it's one of those things to where the guys who were finally there, the guys who I was coaching, they had no idea what they were up against. And when they started paying attention to people saying, "Oh, Narbonne's not this, Narbonne's not that anymore," it got even more difficult. So making that short playoff run that we did make, it gave us the right guys that actually bought into everything that we were trying to do. And right now, I think that we're just kind of benefiting from that. We have a lot of guys that actually have bought in, and they understand that what Narbonne did in the past 8 to 9 years, like you said, was legendary. It was phenomenal. But we aren't them. We have to be ourselves now. And the guys that are here now, they've accepted, and I think that's been one of the key things to our success.
Nick, is there a game on the schedule you have circled, one you're very excited for, maybe a rivalry or a get-back game?
It's got to be San Pedro,
well,
right?
I don't know. Let them answer the question. And if there is one is circled, why is it?
Play some for me in the morning. You're supposed to be practicing.
Are you muted?
Football, good coaching staff.
Go ahead.
Nick, can you repeat that again?
We got you now. Yep.
Can you repeat your answer, Nick?
If I had one game circled, it would probably be Banning. Banning has really good players, really good coaching staff. We could come out early, dominate them. It'll be a good close game.
Wrong again.
Yeah, that's why you got to let him answer.
I know
Randy.
that, but I'm a typical, hey, San Pedro's right now undefeated. They're playing really great. Coach, talk about being a coach in the Marine League, where you mentioned some of the other schools, but how tough that is week in and week out to try to win football games against quality competition.
Well, it's difficult only because we get a double dose, I think, of having very athletes and at the same time teams that are well coached. You got like I mentioned those schools earlier. You got Pedro, Banning, Carson, Gardena, and you're going to get something different from all of those schools. There's not going to be a time where we play, because we play Banning and San Pedro back to back. It's not like we're going to get the same exact offense week after week after week. You're going to get guys that switch things up, and teams that love to play physical football for 4 quarters. So you have to be built for it, man. You have to have a team that's willing to actually compete for 4 quarters and be committed to playing a physical game. And I think the Marine League from top to bottom is probably the most physical league in the city.
I would agree. I think over the years, there's no question that when you talk about Carson, Banning, San Pedro, Narbonne, it's the best league in the city. It always has been. I think maybe it always will be. Coach, good luck tomorrow against El Camino Real. Nick Leonard, what do you think? You go for 200 yards tomorrow and 2 or 3 touchdowns? How's that sound?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
We're going to be looking for that then. Guys, thanks a lot for stopping by. Look forward to meeting you guys tomorrow night on the call tomorrow when El Camino, the Royals, take on the Gauchos. Best of luck, and we'll see you tomorrow night, guys.
Thanks, Randy.
All right, you got it.
Thank you.
He's done a great job. Malcolm Manuel's done a great job there. That is not an easy spot he was thrown into. There's a lot of issues, to say the least, at the school. And it's from a school that the bar was so high. He comes in, all the players vacate, and he had to start from scratch. And here he is. He's not the best team in the city yet, but he's got them in a position where they got a shot to get to the open division.
A position like that is generally a kind of a double-edged sword. You're excited because you're starting from scratch and you can kind of make it your own, and that's always a great thing, like in any walk of life, to be able to get something that's clean slate and then build it your own and how you want to. The other edge of that sword is you're probably not going to be very good for a little bit, and that's okay because you know it's coming. So good for Narbonne. They're getting things rolling in the right direction, and I like their chances tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, and they gave the coach some rope to it because he lost his first 10 games. They knew it wouldn't be an easy build, and patience has paid off. Narbonne's good. It'll be interesting to see how Jason Sabalik's team at El Camino does against them tomorrow night. 7 o'clock. That's a good promo right here on LA 36. All right, let's talk about some games tomorrow other than the one we're going to showcase. Eagle Rock at Granada Hills. I find that to be an absolutely fascinating game. Eagle Rock, year in and year out, a well-coached football team, and Granada Hills has the Stanley cousins, who are absolutely terrific running backs. What do you think of that one?
I'm going to be at Granada Hills tomorrow night. There's some other big games in the Valley, but that's the one I want to be at just because I want to see Dijon and Daryl Stanley play with my own two eyes. I don't know if I'll get another chance to see them. So tomorrow night's my night. They play unbeaten Eagle Rock. I like the Highlanders in that one. And then I see on there Palisades, Cleveland. That's another city section matchup.
That would have been good. Are you going to go over there? Maybe at halftime, switch from Granada Hills and go to Cleveland? It's not that far.
Yeah, I could. I probably won't. But yeah, and then the game of the week for the Daily News is Gardena Sarah versus Oaks Christian. That's in Westlake Village. I mean, there's some great games right there on that screen there.
And Bellflower, Jason Miller's another coach that really is heavy run. He believes in the run at Bellflower. They're unbeaten. They're 4-0 at Santa Paula, who's decent, 2-1, but you got to think Bellflower's going to win. It's interesting. Eric Sotheimer, and we always talk about Eric on this show. He's Mr.
Never
Prep
heard of him.
Sports. He was kiddingly saying Bellflower has the best record in Bellflower because that's where St. John Bosco's from, and they had only played 3 games coming into this week, and Bellflower is 4-0. But Jason Miller is another guy who really does a great job in the run game. And I'm finding that you look at the Roosevelts and the Bellflowers and some of these schools that really run the ball effectively, they're a tough team for most of these other schools that are so pass-happy and pass-oriented now. They just don't play against teams that feature the run.
Yeah, I mentioned double-edged sword. That's kind of one of them nowadays. It's like a basketball coach coming to you and going, hey, Randy, we're going to slow it down every play and run a play. And, yeah, in football nowadays, you want to spread it out, have a little fun, air it out. It makes kids want to come and be part of your program. It's hard to get the kids to buy into kind of running the ball, cloud of dust 3 yards, cloud of dust 4 yards. But when you're winning, it's easy to get on that bandwagon. So good for those coaches.
You weren't here last week. You went to the wedding, and we were happy for you. But I went on this rant that Mater Dei and St. John Bosco had really separated. And what's the score here? Oh, it's a 1-point game, 27-26. But I went on this rant about, wow, they've completely separated. Do you agree with me, or is one of these other teams going to come out of the woodwork and threaten one of those teams in the southern section?
No, I think the gap is too large.
Okay.
And St. John Bosco and Mater Dei are literally on an island, and they're surrounded by 50 miles of water. No one can get close to them right now, and we saw that. Bishop Amat played St. John Bosco a couple weeks ago. It wasn't even close. Centennial, who is an outstanding program with great coaching and a quick off. I mean, they are unreal, and it wasn't even close when they played Mater Dei. And I think, to take it even further, Randy, I think the CIF might need to step in here. I think there's an element of like, wait a minute, this is getting out of hand. What is competitive equity if we can't even if we just know it's the two teams every year?
Yeah, but isn't it a situation where it goes in cycles? I mean, yes, they're the greats now, but times change. For now, they are dominant.
Well, now,
but if you start to tinker with this, and then
now's window is getting it's stretching a little bit.
It's a stretch window.
It's stretching.
But you could have said the same thing about Narbonne in the city section. Was it getting out of hand? Were they dominating every year? Finally, they had some issues. The program changed. Right. I don't know. I think you let it go for now.
Yeah, well, for now, maybe it's like one more year. I don't know.
Are you getting bored with the St. John Bosco Mater Dei rivalry?
Who isn't? That's what I think. And then here we are trying to make it bigger, going to play in SoFi Stadium, the state-of-the-art facility in North America, and we got one team saying no, they don't want to play in it. It's really a shame. It's really a shame. It's like, if it's going to be some big, awesome showdown, put it on a great stage and let's go. And we got one team saying, nah, I'm good. I'll play in my backyard. I'm seriously, I think it's a joke. I think it's really, really sad.
All right, what I think is really, really good is we had Tarek back tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
We showcased Tarek Fattal. Our time's run out.
Let's keep going.
Thank you to the Narbonne group. We appreciate them coming in. Nick Leonard, the running back, and Malcolm Manuel, the coach, and also Ryan Staub, the fine quarterback
Yes.
at West Ranch. All right, for Tarek, I'm Randy. Set your clock for 7 o'clock tomorrow night on LA 36. ECR at Narbonne. By the way, ECR, all their games are on the road. They're working on the field there. So the Royals games will all be on the road. We're going to do 3 more after tomorrow. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll be back on this program next Thursday at 9 o'clock. For Tarek Fattal, I'm Randy Rosenbloom. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report. Good night, everybody.